How we doing? Today is Monday, March 25th. Markets today were up and down. Dow was down when I checked this morning anyway, quite a bit. I think it was down a couple hundred points and actually finished up 14 points for the day. Nasdaq was down 5 points, so pretty much flat. I see that the Nikkei, Japan's stock market, was down 650 points yesterday, which is equivalent to 3%. So I don't follow that real close. I just look at the number, which would be a comparison to just looking at the Dow every day. But the Nikkei got hit hard yesterday, so it didn't seem to have too much effect on the U.S. markets today. Maybe in the morning, maybe that's why the market was down in the morning, and then once things got going, the markets picked up. So biggest loser I've got today that I'm following is it's not an unusual suspect here that I follow is Clovis Oncology. We've talked about that stock a lot. I actually did an entire video on Clovis Oncology and how their CEO and just the company in general has continuously lied about the efficacy of their drug, and leaders in the company have traded stock at the same time that they've been lying about the efficacy of the drug. There's a story on it if you want to look it up. Google Clovis Oncology, SEC fines. If you put those words together, you're going to come up with a judgment you'll find against Clovis Oncology. The CEO had to pay, I don't know how many millions of dollars it was, or maybe it was hundreds of thousands. I don't remember. But point is, he's not in jail. He's actually still the CEO of the company. It's just pretty amazing. But that stock drops over 7% today. No surprise to me, I guess. Stock's down to $23. Was over $100 at one point. That's one you want to stay a long ways away from. A lot of the micro cap stocks I follow were down today for some reason. On the smaller biotechs, companies, when I say micro cap, these days a micro cap, it used to be maybe under like 50 million, but I would say a micro cap now is a company that's valued at $100 million or less would be a micro cap. So a lot of those ones that I follow are down. I don't think attention to that. Anytime a micro cap stock moves even 10%, that's not really a huge move for a company that small. NIO was down almost 5% today. That stock it's closing in on that $5 mark. I bought some last week or the week before at it's probably $1 higher than it is now, probably $6.35, something like that. It's at $5.35 right now. But I didn't put a lot of money into it because I know that there's a lot of downside risk there. There's also a lot of upside, but when there's a lot of downside, you kind of have to limit your exposure to these stocks. If NIO gets under $5 here, I might put another $1,000 into it. We'll see. I think long term, I think that that company could have a bright future, but they could also go bankrupt. But I look at it. You got to weigh the pros and cons. Best case scenario, they do turn out to be the Tesla of China. And your $2,000, turns into worst case scenario, your $2,000 turns into zero. So, if you weigh the pros and cons there, I like long term. I like the prospects of NIO. So we'll see what happens with them. Let's see. There wasn't much for gainers today. There was some small gainers, but nothing gained very big. The only stocks that I see that were really up today were gold stocks. Gold wasn't up very much either. I think it was only up $6 or $7 today. But gold mining stocks were up quite a bit today. Barrick Gold, ticker symbol GOLD. That used to be the old Rheingold ticker symbol. It's another stock, about $1,000 worth here last week. It dropped as soon as I bought it, and now it's recovered. I'm actually up about 7% on Barrick Gold. This is up 4.5% today. Wouldn't be bad idea to buy some gold miners. I think the downside risk there is pretty small. And I think the upside is a lot of upside. Like I've said before, though, gold could easily drop to $1,000 or less. Um, so there is that downside, but there's also a chance that it doesn't. Um, if you look back in history, once gold, I don't think I was even alive, probably, or I probably was when gold was under $100. But I'm pretty sure I'd have to look back at the chart. It's hard to find like daily charts for the price of gold when you're going back that far. All you can find is like monthly and yearly charts. So you can't see what the actual low was at certain times, but I'm pretty sure, once gold, you know, hovered above that $100 threshold, it never looked back. There was probably a lot of people waiting and say, oh, I'm going to wait till gold drops under $100 and I'm going to buy. Well, you might have completely missed that opportunity. And I think it's safe to say that gold is never going to go down to $100 an ounce again. That would be crazy to see what was going on if that ever happened. But you could even be looking at gold now, saying, gold might not ever go down to $1,000. I think there's a good chance it will, but there's also a small chance. I think there's a better chance that it will go under $1,000 than it won't. It's only even at $1,300. That's only 30%. Gold can make some pretty big moves. If you remember when gold went from 1950 all the way down to about 1,100, pretty quick. That's a lot more than a 30% move. So it could easily happen. I think if it does happen, it probably will happen really quickly. And then if you get in, if you get in at that time and just hold on, I think once it gets above 1,000 again after that, I think it's probably one of those times where, it's probably not going to look back. And I'm sure, and I'm not saying I'm not a gloom and doom guy, and that's not why I think you buy gold. I think you buy gold just because the price goes up over time, just like the markets. I'm bullish on both, and it seems to be people either have one or the other. You either have to be bullish on gold or the markets. Well, I'm bullish on both. I think in my lifetime, I'm pretty sure that the Dow is going to be over 100,000 in my lifetime, and I'm also pretty sure that gold is going to be over 10,000 in my lifetime. So I think both of those are appreciating assets. So I think you have to have both. It's not a one or the other. Just because you own gold doesn't mean you're a gloom and doom, and just because you are a stock market bull doesn't mean that you have to dislike gold. So I think you do both. So yeah, like I said, there's a lot of stocks up, 1-2%, but nothing, no big movers to the positive side today. Um, just their biggest mover I follow here was Clovis Oncology, which is that always makes me laugh. So I'm just waiting for that stock to go to zero. Um, it'll be interesting to see what happens with them, but um, I really doubt that after what's happened the last couple of years that anybody's going to come in and buy Clovis Oncology. Um, and anybody investing in that company right now is just, you know, they're just hoping, I guess, that there's some great trial, or some great results from a trial that are going to come along. And I don't think that's ever going to happen either. Um, so we'll see. It's just, it's unfortunate. Really, I don't think people, in the markets and in life in general, it happens. See a lot of successful people who are maybe not, maybe have the wrong motivations, or aren't the most honest people. But I think in general, sooner or later that catches up with you. And and maybe in Clovis Oncology's case, like I said, it was at $100 at one point. So it's down. You look at $23 right now, so it's down over 75%. So maybe partly it has, but just the fact that they're still stealing money from investors and patients, and the CEO is probably still sitting behind his computer, at his desk, trying to think of the next move. something to pump up that stock price so he can make some more money. I'm pretty sure the patients are the last thing on his mind. So, all right, well, that's it for today. Kind of short, but kind of a quiet day in the markets today. So we will see you tomorrow.